The domino effect of NFL transactions. It's wild, right? So here's the deal. The Miami Dolphins just lost a guy because of another team's move. On Tuesday night, the New England Patriots sent two defenders packing. One of them, safety Kyle Duggar. Yeah, the one with the fat contract even though he hasn't logged consistent minutes, ended up headed to the Pittsburgh Steelers after they needed cover when veteran safety Deshaun Elliott got hurt. But here's the kicker. That Patriots move led directly to the Dolphins losing a younger guy. According to a report from the Miami Herald by Barry Jackson, New England fetched away Miami's rookie safety John Saunders Jr. from the practice squad to fill the hole Duggar's departure left behind. Think about it. The Dolphins build and groom someone, and now they've got a hole where that person used to be, and in the hands of a rival at that. That's the bitter side of the business. Here's what we know about John Saunders Jr.'s path with Miami. He played college ball at Ole Miss Rebels, went undrafted in the 2025 NFL Draft, then signed with the Dolphins as a UDFA. Now the Patriots scoop him up onto their active roster, per the Miami Herald story. And that means Miami's secondary just lost a piece. And sure, maybe Miami's fine. They've got youth at safety. Names like rookie Dante Trader Jr., second-year guy Patrick McMorris, and the younger vets like Ifeatu Melifonwu and Ashton Davis. They'll likely slot in. But let's be real. When you invest attention in someone and then watch them walk off across the division, it stings. This move raises a few questions. Did New England see something in Saunders Jr. that Miami underrated? After all, he only got 84 defensive snaps in the preseason with Miami, clearly behind another UDFA safety, Jordan Colbert, who the Dolphins later flipped into a linebacker. So was there something more in the scouting notes that tipped the Patriots? Maybe that pre-draft visit Saunders had with New England made all the difference. And from Miami's perspective, sure, you'll survive this. But you also maybe have to wonder, are you developing guys strictly to feed them to rivals? Doesn't feel great when the guy you root for becomes a tool in someone else's rebuild. Plus, there's the schedule reality. Miami will play New England twice this season, and now Saunders could be walking into that matchup wearing Patriots colors. That adds another layer. We also need to take a hard look at Miami's safety room turnover. Starters like Kader Kohou have gone down with injuries. You've had signings and releases like veteran Mike Hilton, and hamstrings have been gnawing at depth all year. So it's not just this one move. It's part of a bigger patchwork that's forcing Miami's secondary to adapt on the fly. Now, when Saunders Jr. suits up, if he does, what will he bring to New England? And what does his departure mean for Miami's mindset? Maybe it's a bonus for them, a chance to see real time if players can step up when one goes out the door. Or maybe it's a warning that you baby your young guys, and something easy, like a practice squad poach, can slide you a loss of future depth. Ultimately, there's a lesson here. In the NFL, you're never just developing your own roster. You're often preparing to lose guys. And your rival might quietly walk away with what you built. Miami might lose Saunders Jr., but if their replacements shine, the pain fades. If they struggle, this move will look much bigger in hindsight. So watch this space. Will Saunders Jr. make a dent in New England's defense? Will Miami's next man up hold firm in that secondary? And when the Dolphins and Patriots meet, will the guy Miami turned loose show up and make his ex-team regret it? You ever notice how the smallest moves sometimes say the most about where a team really stands? That's what this whole John Saunders Jr. situation feels like. Not some blockbuster trade or headline-grabbing cut, but a subtle shift that exposes a crack, or maybe a truth, about the Dolphins' current rhythm. Because, yeah, it's easy to shrug it off, just a practice squad guy. But that's not the full story, is it? You can almost sense the frustration in Miami's building. The coaches know what they've put into these young players, the hours, the reps, the corrections after every missed angle, every blown coverage in camp. And then, just like that, poof. One phone call from Foxborough and the work walks out the door. No trade, no compensation, nothing. Just another reminder that in the NFL, development is everyone's business and ownership is an illusion. Still, there's another layer here. New England doesn't make random moves. Bill Belichick might be gone, but the philosophy he planted, that quiet scavenger hunt mentality, it's still alive. They don't just grab bodies, they grab fits. Saunders Jr. isn't a household name, but he's rangy, twitchy, instinctive. Miami saw that when they signed him as an undrafted free agent. He just didn't get the snaps. The preseason was short, the depth chart crowded, and the Dolphins were chasing immediate reliability instead of raw promise. So maybe that's what burns a bit more, because deep down, Miami liked this guy. He wasn't a throwaway project. They just didn't have the room to wait. And the Patriots? They had the space, and maybe the patience. That's how this league turns, not with explosions, but with tiny rotations that slowly shift the balance of power. Meanwhile, Miami's safety room now feels like a carousel spinning a little too fast. Caterco has been fighting injuries, Ashton Davis still chasing rhythm, Melifonwu bouncing between positions. You can feel the instability even if the front office won't say it out loud. Every week there's another tweak, another roster shuffle, another next man up press conference line that sounds confident but feels like patchwork. And here's the real question. How many of these micro-losses can a contender take before it starts to show up on Sundays? Because this Dolphins defense, when it's whole, is explosive. But it hasn't been whole for a while. The cohesion in the secondary is fragile, and losing one more developing safety, even one who never started, means another potential long-term piece is gone before he ever got his chance. There's also that sting of who took him. The Patriots, division rival. The team that Miami's been trying to bury for years. The one they love beating more than anyone else. It's one thing to lose a guy to, say, the Cardinals or Bears. You wish him luck and move on. But when he ends up wearing New England blue, yeah, that lands differently. Somewhere, maybe deep in the Dolphins facility, someone's shaking their head thinking, not again. Because this is how it starts. You develop someone, he leaves, and a few months later he's making a third down stop against you. The cruel symmetry of it all. And when Week 18 rolls around, if Saunders Jr. is still on that Patriots sideline, you just know there'll be an extra camera shot when Miami lines up across from him. Still, perspective matters. The Dolphins have a strong young core. Dante Trader Jr. looks promising. Patrick McMorris is quietly earning more reps, and there's a sense that this group could stabilize if the injuries slow down. But it's hard to build rhythm when faces keep changing. And that's the quiet challenge Mike McDaniel's staff faces every week, to keep this defense humming even as the cast rotates like a late-season drama. But here's the twist nobody wants to admit. Sometimes losing a player like Saunders forces a team to see what they really have. It exposes whether the depth is real or just wishful thinking. It puts pressure on development, accountability, and coaching clarity. Maybe this ends up being the spark that pushes someone else, maybe McMorris, maybe Trader, to step up faster than expected. So yeah, it's easy to minimize it on paper, an undrafted safety heading to a rival's roster. But these are the kind of moves that ripple quietly, unpredictably. Sometimes they fade away, forgotten by mid-November. Other times, they come back around like a storm you didn't see forming. A crucial missed tackle, a key interception, a moment that suddenly feels heavier because you remember the name that slipped away. That's what this league does. It takes the little stories and turns them into echoes. Miami's just gotta hope this one doesn't become a loud one. Want me to continue expanding this into a full 1,575-word version that ties in more emotion, locker room atmosphere, and speculation about the Dolphins' defensive mindset?